I'm willing to risk 500 bucks on the first table I walk up to until I make $0, and then I will leave broke because I want to have fun. Fine. Fine. That's fine. I'm willing to risk $1,000 on roulette until I make 50 bucks, and then I will walk is also fine. I will never judge you for either of those things. As part of Gambling 401, we're getting really focused on, I think, how I want you to build strategies. And again, I'm not going to give you strategies here, right? There's a million strategies out there. We have our good friends are great strategists. That's not my role, right? My role here is to give you what I would call the Lego blocks, right? The things that you can use to build your strategies, right? In this 401 series. In the earlier series, 101, 201, 301, we gave you mindset. We gave you bankroll. We gave you ways to manage yourself and your money. Now we're looking at how do you manage your bets? And I want you to be able to craft your own strategy. So let's look today at the different play styles that there are. And this will set us up for future classes here, but playing to win. And I'm going to remind you again, like, what is a strategy, right? The strategy is kind of a hot button word for some people, but really strategy is simple. It's betting an amount you're willing to lose on what you think is going to win. That's it. It's where my bets go. It's how big are my bets. Okay. Play style becomes the second level, right? Play styles are employing that strategy that matches all the things, my risk tolerance, my bankroll, my goals, and how aggressive or conservative of a balance I want to strike. The play style says, take what I'm willing to risk, play it a conservative or aggressive way, right? To get to my goal. That's what it is. So it's kind of marrying those two concepts together. And if you recall back, we gave you this algorithm. And I think this is the way to state everything, right? When you go to the table or even in the car on the way to the casino or from your hotel room down to the floor, you're running this in your head. I'm willing to risk whatever, 500 bucks on craps with the Iron Cross until I make 100 bucks. And then I will leave, or then I will switch strategies, or then I will switch sides, or then I will start pressing, or then I will regress and do something different. Okay. This algorithm to me is the secret to gambling. If you don't have this filled in on your way to put your money out there, you might as well write them a check. Okay. You got to have this ready. And I think of all the things, of all the shows we've done, this is one of the most important pieces to remember. I'm willing to risk this amount of money on this strategy, on this game, until I make whatever the number is. And then I'm going to do the next thing. If you're a regressor, great. I'm going to risk money. I'm going to risk 640 to win 140 so I can play 120 across or whatever, right? 120 inside. That's a good thing. But know that going in. The algorithm kind of drives everything else. Once you have that kind of filled in, then we can look at what's our attack position. How are we going to go after the casino? Am I going to go light side or dark side on craps? Right? Am I going to be tactical? Right? In other words, like a same bet, press, same bet. That's tactics. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bet these four numbers this exact way. Am I going to be more rhythmic? Am I going to say, you know what? I'm seeing this. I'm going to put my money over here where it's happening. Am I more rhythmic in what I do? Right? Am I aggressive or am I conservative? Am I coming out of the gate trying to whack them? Or am I coming out of the gate trying to protect so I have a chance to whack later, right? Am I playing a long game? Am I here for 5 hours tonight with a meetup? Or am I here for the short game on a coffee run? Knowing that, again, your algorithm drives these decisions too, right? That helps you decide the way you're going to go after it, right? And your initial attack plan, I think, fits into just a few categories. And again, this is regardless of the game. I don't care if it's craps, roulette, baccarat, blackjack, whatever you're playing. There's only a few ways you can gamble. Okay. You can start small and build. Okay. In other words, table minimum bet, $10 on a blackjack table. You take a win, right? You win $10, you make your bet 15. You win 15, you make your bet 20. You start at the smallest level possible and you build your bets as you win. Okay. That would be a way to preserve bankroll. Okay. You can start at a medium level and collect right away. Start at quarters instead of 10. Bring back a quarter, bring back a quarter, bring back a quarter, right? Collect and get out of there a little quicker because the wins are a little bit more meaningful, right? You can be a start high and regress down. Go out there with $50, take the $50 win, come back out with a $10 bet, and then start building up, right? Regressing. That's the only way you can play. Start small and build your bets. Start at some good level and just collect all the time. Start high and regress. That's it. There's no other way to make bets, right? Now, how do you decide which one to do? Well, again, you apply the algorithm, but you look at what you have in front of you. I have X amount of bankroll to support either one of those things. If I got little tiny bankroll, I got to start small and build, right? That's what you're stuck into certain things. My risk aversion might put me in the start small category. My risk appetite might put me in the start high category, right? If I'm optimizing my exposure to avoid certain things, to avoid whacks or to avoid bankroll hits, my exposure strategy drives which one of those attack plans I start with also. And again, it's all goal oriented. If your goal is to win 2 units, starting small versus starting high, how do you get to that goal quicker? Right? What are you optimizing for? Those are the things that you think about when you start your play. Phase 1, the initial attack. How am I going to go after it? Same bet, start small and build, start high and come down. That's it. That's your only 3 choices. Okay. Now, what do you do after that? Sustaining your assault on the casino. What do you do after that? Okay. If you're coffee running or paychecking like I typically do in the mornings or like I'm doing on my shows, right? We hit and run. We're in and we're freaking out of there. Right? Your sustained assault could be a pressing rhythm, right? If you're a trend better, if you're a right side craps player and you're a rhythm thrower and you're getting good results, it's your pressing rhythm. Once you've done your initial attack, how do you keep going? You rhythm press, either tactically press the inside, press the inside, press the inside, or press what's coming or whatever you're going to do. Your rhythm of pressing might be your secondary play. You could opt, instead of either of those, to do a progression type of system, positive or negative progression. Either way is fine, right? Do a little 1, 2, 3 parlay and get out. Do a 1, 3, 2, 4 progression. Do a negative 32, right? However you want to sustain your play after you've done the initial assault is what we're looking at here. And how do you decide that? The same way. Your bankroll determines what you're going to do here. Your aversion to risk or your appetite for risk, again, drives these decisions, right? How you want to optimize for exposure and what's your goal. You got a huge ass bankroll. You want to go negative progression. Totally fine. That's totally fine. If you have a small bankroll, that's not a thing you can do. You got to pick one of the other two as you're building up your strategy and deciding what strategy fits into the algorithm. Okay. Waylon says in chat here, ABC always be collecting, right? That's, again, if that's your mindset, then that's great. That helps you get to the goal faster. And it's how you apply that way of thinking into these ways of playing. Okay, that's the sustained assault. And again, I want to really think about what I'm saying here. How do I say this right? I want to make sure I conclude this section right, because this is going to lead us into what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks. I've got 2 weeks or 2 modules or 2 whatever, 10 shows, 10 lectures planned on this, right? We're going to talk about 10 different ways to get started, right? We're going to show you 10 ways to start small and build, 10 ways to have medium-sized bets, 10 ways to regress, right? All the ways you can start out, all the ways you can sustain it. And I want you to really come at this with an open mind, saying, look, I know, John's going to be like, oh God, I'm overthinking everything, right? There's a lot of ways to do it within these small little boxes. You can hit and run, you can press, or you can play a progression. You can start small, you can start big, you can start in the middle. Those 6 things combined in any configuration becomes your play. But again, it's all driven by your bankroll, how you view risk, what you're trying to optimize for in terms of exposure, what your goals are, and ultimately the algorithm. Stating your goal ahead of time, understanding what you're doing there is so freaking important. Okay. And again, the algorithm, again, I'll leave room for it, right? I'm willing to risk $500 on the first table I walk up to until I make $0, and then I will leave broke because I want to have fun. Fine. Fine. That's fine. I'm willing to risk $1,000 on roulette until I make $50, and then I will walk is also fine. I will never judge you for either of those things. There's no shame in having a tiny win goal. There's no shame in burning it all down, as long as you aren't burning down money you actually need. Okay. And there it is. That's my entire lead up here. Okay. More to come in future videos about how all these things work. Again, examples of playing from different sides, examples of where we start, and examples of how we play it on. So there it is, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team, learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.